Hey everybody, Cubicle Man here to give my first honest review of Legendary Tales. I'll be showing spoiler-free gameplay while highlighting the good and the bad and giving my final thoughts on the game after over 40 hours of gameplay. Legendary Tales describes itself as a fantasy-based, walking, action, role-playing dungeon crawler, and this description is spot on. Now, let's delve right on into the review. And first up is the vibe check. The game has a great vibe. As soon as you open it, you're getting dark fantasy, and I was immediately reminded of old school RuneScape when I opened up the inventory. The music and soundtrack is great. The ambiance feels like I'm playing Oblivion, and the music is so uplifting when you beat a boss. Leveling up and spending your skill points feels good. You can really feel your character's progression as you dial in your build. Combat is the main draw to this game, and that's great because whether you're playing solo or with friends, the minute-to-minute gameplay is fun and engaging. Now I'll try to give you some raw, unbiased insights. Generally considered a difficult game, bosses in particular will require you to learn their moveset and fight strategically. The final boss will test your mental and physical capabilities. Art style. Dark fantasy art style that fits the world well. Enemy types fit the location they're in well. Loot. It is an RNG based looter. Crafting. Very light crafting, easy to learn, also RNG based. Replayability. Being a VR game, every playstyle is actually really different to play. Multiple playthroughs is recommended. It also has a challenge mode or New Game Plus once you beat the game. And for the true completionist, this game offers an actual permadeath mode. VR jankiness. This game has an average level of VR jankiness. Long weapons will probably get stuck behind an enemy shield or against a wall. Time for the good. The game has great co-op, supporting up to 4 players, and the game slightly scales its difficulty the more players in the lobby. The physics are surprisingly good. One of the main moves utilized in the game is a parry, where you hit the enemy's weapon as they are attacking with either your shield or your weapon. It feels good to parry every single time. Enemies telegraph their hits just enough to let you know it's coming, but not so much that you can just parry from muscle memory. You actually have to pay attention and strike at the correct moment and location. The only backtracking in this game is if you missed a sub-quest item, which isn't needed to complete the game. Although backtracking is not a bad thing in this game, because much like roguelikes, the combat is the main draw to the game. Running through any area is fun and unique because the enemy types actually change every time you load an area to keep the encounters fresh. Although some may perceive what I'm about to say as negative, I personally love that there are no quest markers. The game only tells you the location of the quest, and you must carefully explore and search for your goals yourself. There are 3 different playstyles: strength, dexterity, and magic, and there are many specialized builds within each one. I did a co-op playthrough with my brother, myself maining dex and him maining strength. Once we both reached level 50 and reset our skill points, we saw many other potential builds we could have made. And the community is pretty much always nice. People always want to help, and it's very easy to hop in and out of someone's world based on the way the game is designed. And now it's time for the bad. One of the worst things about the game is that when you use a reset point, it only resets your secondary stats and your skill tree skill points. Meaning if you don't plan your character carefully and use only weapons that fall into your leveling category, meaning strength weapons, dex weapons, or magic weapons, you could actually ruin your character's late game stats. You only get 2 reset points per run, and once again, they do not affect your main skills. Repeating enemy types. You see a lot of the same enemies in different areas, although I will say this is alleviated in the final stage with lots of newly armored enemies with new abilities. There is a poor tutorial on some basic mechanics, such as it doesn't explain that you must manually select a quest to accept it, or manually click the reward to turn in a quest. Almost 7 hours in, and my brother finally realized it and taught me how to do it. The running speed is very slow. I know the game describes itself as a walking action role-playing game, but holy cow, the walking speed is slow. Like, slow. Climbing is big in VR, and this game has very mediocre climbing. There's nothing wrong with it, but it definitely is not going to wow you. And my final complaint would be, you cannot pull just one item from your inventory. You have to pull the whole bag and then pull it one item with your hand. In conclusion, this game basically feels like a Souls-like looter. The combat is extremely Soulsy, but it feeds you lots of weapons and armor to be dismantled or sold like in Diablo. I had a lot of fun, and am still having lots of fun playing, particularly with other people. I'd give Legendary Tales an 8 out of 5 out of 10. Some room for improvement, particularly in the quality of life department, but an excellent and polished product that is a blast to play. Thanks for tuning in, and if this review helped at all, please consider subscribing, and I hope you all have a great day.